move on to the story of API one more time. We'll move on to the API. Then we will go with the slots. Then we go with the record data, LWS. In the sorry, in the LDS, how do you make LDS in the Lightning Web Components? All right. So let me connect to the Visual Studio Code. Create the project. Control Shift P. Create project. Right. Let the file be loaded properly. Okay. Create project. But it's taking a lot of time. Right. Now I'm trying to create few Lightning components here, Lightning Web Components. So first I'm going with Control Shift P, Lightning Web Component. Let us take a quick example. I have courses, course data. Course info. Right. I'm creating a Lightning Web Component here. Here I'm going to the example Lightning Web Component. Then open the HTML. I'm trying to display the data. Lightning card. Title. Course dot. So I have right. Here I'm giving course dot fee. Duration. So this is the component what I created. So I was just trying to display data. What data? Course name, course fee, course duration. To use this, I have defined a public property at the rate of API course. Course. Because I'm using annotation at the rate of API annotation, I'm using API annotation give comma. In the last session already I told you, if you want to display the object should be in the form of name, admin, duration, 30 days, fee. This is how we define it. So whatever the course data I am giving here, this course data I am trying to print it here. Course dot name, course fee, and course duration. Now already we have discussed here. Key course dot. I told if you want to display, key should be unique. This is why I have given the key as unique value. You can put in a okay. It's okay. Otherwise, you can push off here. This is how I am giving a course name, course fee, duration. This is the component. Now I am having one more Lightning Web component. Control Shift P. Yeah. So we are in the Lightning format only. Now let us go to the Control Shift P. Lightning Web component. Course info. Institute component. So we have an institute component here. Let's go to the metadata. Here I was giving course info. Course details equal to array of elements. When you have an array of elements, you are trying to assign the value. Name, admin, duration, fee, some data I am giving. Similarly, I am going to give other information. So I add here. Some data I am giving here. Some information just to differentiate the information. Integration. So some data like it's 30 days. So let me put some 90 days. Let me put some 7,000. This is how I give it. So it's an area of elements. I created a course details. Is it a trackable property or untrackable property? It's an untrackable property. Now go back to the institute.html. Here, you want to print it. How do you print it? or else I can give. Okay. Template for each course details. Course details for item right. Now take some element key right here. I want to print the information. How do you print the information? I'm going to call C. What is the name of the information? Course info. What is the API name they're expecting? Course. They're expecting a API name of course. Course equal to. They're expecting a course equal to. Right. So what we have done in this case? What we have done in this case? For each element, what was the information I have given? Okay, it came twice. Okay, this is how we are given. This is how we are given. Now, here it is like a component. This component has attributes. This is like a component, and the component has got attributes. This is like a component, and the component has got attributes. Component has got attributes. This is what I explained in the last session. The last session, if you remember well, I explained one of the example here. If you remember well, probably I think I gave example 3. Okay. Is the same one? No, this is not the same information. So what, do you remember what I have given you? Do you remember what I have given you? Chalo, like we open this. Let me copy. This will be helpful to us. Let me open the another folder. If you remember, yesterday we have given uh, example 3. Remember where did I save the files yesterday? LW session 2. Maybe this, yeah. Okay. If you remember well, yesterday I gave a couple of examples to demonstrate the same. Go back to the story. LWC, yeah. Here we have done. Okay. It's okay. Let me push out. I'll build it newly. Open the folder. What is the current folder we are using? Okay. Now, Let me explain. So what I was trying to convey you is this information. Yesterday, we have given an example, child.cmp. When I give child.cmp, Jura attribute, Jura component. This is type equal to object. Dot acc dot 4. This is what I got. Now I had a parent component. In the parent component I have given Jura component type equal to iteration items equal to accounts. I am giving C colon child acc equal to v dot. Do you understand what I have written here in terms of lightning? Did you people understand this? What I wrote here? So when I am invoking this parent component, what happened? The loop will run. How many times? As per, okay, depends upon the number of records that we have, loop will run. Every time the loop runs, child component will be printed. Am I right? Every time the loop runs, child component will be printed. The same story I was trying to run here. The same story I was trying to run here. Look at this story. When I have course, when I have course info, .html, when you give a course fee, course duration, it is going to print the course fee, course duration. Now in issue.html, it is a loop. They have a list of records. It is a loop. So for every record, for course details, for every ABC, I am passing that ABC as a parameter to this. So here we call it as a attribute of a component, but here we call it as a public property. Here we're going to call it as a public property. Child component will not pass the value directly. Parent component will be passing the value to the child. Child will be running on that value. This is what we are trying to understand. Whatever I explained just now, just exactly the same thing I implemented in terms of Lightning components. Whatever I explained here, the same concept is implemented in the Lightning Web Components. Here in the Lightning Web Components, component attribute. Instead of saying component attribute, we say component public property. Here we are calling component attribute. In the Lightning Web Components, we are calling as a component public property. Instead of calling as a attribute, we are calling as a component public property. I hope everyone has followed that story. Everyone has followed this story. Is that was clear? Okay. Now, here we have move on to the story. Shift P. Then we have Again, I need to open the terminals and all the stuff. Right, okay. We made a small mistake here. So either I have to go with the terminal or I have to use the same. Okay, I'll just copy paste. I don't want to create everything again. I'll just copy paste whatever I've done. Okay, I'll just copy paste whatever I've done. Control Shift P, Lightning Web Component, course info, more than the logic, these things have become a headache for us. Right, okay. Then course info, I'm making it clear. Listen to the story. Course duration, course duration, course fee, course fee. Okay, now I have course scripting here. I'm making one public property here at the rate of API course. Right, API. Make the story. Then the parent component I'm creating. What is my parent component? Control Shift P, web component. So we can say the story goes here. I need to have name, duration, so I gave some information here. So this is the scripting I have given. The institute.html. wait, for each course info for item. P. I got C hyphen course info course. This is how I created. Now let me put up the story again. Expose equal to true, target any one will be doing sufficient, but to let you know that there are three properties available. We are just copy pasting every time. Three. Go to the HTML and copy paste the story. Okay, this is how the components are created. Now Control Shift P, then authorize the arg, authorize dev hub. What is your dev hub? We are authorizing the dev hub. Then we are creating the scratch arc. Then whatever the code we created, we want to push this code to the scratch arc. Let me push this code into the scratch arc. So because I was taking this as institute.html, I can make this as so that comes like a list, and this I'll try to give it as it's okay. Now I want to push these things into production. Scratch arc, Control Shift P, then push the source into scratch arc. Once we push this thing into scratch arc, let us see any bugs are if there are no bugs. Let us add them to the page and see the output. So go back to the story.
Satish,
Yes, Amma.
quick question. So every day we are creating scratch arcs, and while creating the scratch arc, we did specify duration of 7 days.
No,
We
the
can
code.
connect to the existing
Yeah,
arc, right?
we can
Let us.
connect it, but we need to. I just want to avoid the commands here. That's the reason I'm just giving a new one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So when you go to the commands again, it will be confusing. So to avoid that format at this level, I'm just trying to avoid the CLI commands. Okay. Move on to the story. So every time you create, there will be a default name. With the help of default name, we can connect to it. Okay. Testing. Save it. So go to the edit. Go to the page. Look at the component what we created. Component 0. Oops. Control Shift. The reason is okay. Let me understand this. Control Shift P. Open default arg. Then push it. We are not opening the default arg. Probably there's a reason why the code is not pushed. Default arg is not opened. That's the reason the code is not pushed. Again, now deploy the code. Control Shift P. Push the source to the default scratch arg. Okay. Go back to the page. Refresh and see the component is received or not. Oops, what was the organization here? Come back. View the page. Probably this is my arg. So open it. We're still in the dev hub. There's a reason you are not able to see that. Go to the lead. Create one record first. New lead.
Okay, so Satish, quick question. So I think you are in the same URL, like energy, ability, something, something. So how did you identify that you are not in the default in Scratch org?
Previously it was in the lighting URL. The scratch arg will have something like this.
Okay.
Scratch arg will have something like this. Energy, some random. So now I want to add up the things here. Just let me remove this. Initial info. Then save it. Activate. Send to org default. Next. Save. Right. This is how we have done it. So go back to the component and see. We are able to see the panel admin course duration fee. This is how we got the information. So what was that? So here we are done. In this example, if you look at this example, this is my child component. The child component, if you pass a course object to it, it is going to print that course name, course duration, fee. If you pass the course object, it is going to print course name and course fee. So to this component, if you pass the course object, it is going to print the course name, course fee and duration. Course name, course fee and duration. Now from where we are passing this data? We are passing this data from institute info.html. In the institute info.html, we have a loop. We have an array of elements. We are taking one by one object and we are passing the code. So we are calling the child component in the parent component. Parent component is passing the value to the child component based on the value what is passed. Based on the value what is passed from the parent component, based on the object what is passed from the parent component, child component is printing the data. That's how we got the information here. Object 1, object 2, object 3. I hope this is clear for everyone. So when you say any property as a public property, the value of it will not be set by that component. What we are doing, if we say public property, the value of it can be passed by its parent. Parent component can pass that value. Parent component can pass that value. When you say the property as a public property, the value can be passed by the parent. I hope you got the story about this. Everyone is good with this example? Any query on this? Amma? Is everyone is good with this example? Any query from your end?
No, Satish.
Right. Okay. Now I want to make some changes here. Now I don't want to pass the, see, now in this case, what I am doing? I am passing the object. I am passing the object. Using that object, the child component is printing the data. Now I don't want to pass the object. I want to pass the code itself. Now whatever the code I'm using here, whatever the code I'm using here, whatever the code I'm using here, this code I want to pass from the child. Now in this example, I was passing the value. In this example, I was passing the value. Now what I want is, I don't want to pass the value, I want to pass the script itself. The HTML script itself I want to pass. So whatever you are trying to print, the same print I have to give from the parent component. Parent component will specify what script should be displayed on the child. Now I want to control what script should be, what HTML script should be displayed on the child. So to understand this, we need to know a concept called slot. To understand this, we need to know a component called slot. To understand this, we need to know a component called slot. So if you know what is this slot is like a, if you use your Visual 4 space. In the Visual 4 space, we say, right, include, define, insert, like that. Slot will specify the location where the data should be printed. The location where the data should be printed. The location where the data should be printed here. So the slots will be of two types: named slot, unnamed slot. When you say named slot, based on the name, we can specify where the data should be printed. If it is a named slot, based on the name, we can specify where the element should be printed. So how do you create the slot? Look at the point here. Just give slot. Just mention the slot. So when you say slot, this is a child component. Whatever you are able to see, it is a child component. In the child component, I am giving an element called slot. Now parent component will pass the content that should be printed in the slot. So let us do the basic example first, then I'll continue with the previous example. The same example I'll re-implement. Okay. Create a lightning web component, child 1. Right. So look at the story. Just I'm copy pasting the story. It is just an element called a slot. It is just an element called slot. Slot. This is called unnamed slot. We are not giving any name for the slot. It is called unnamed slot. It is a child element. Now I am trying to create one parent one. Control Shift P. Parent one. Right. Now in the parent, within the child component, you are giving a child component. Look at the story. Here C hyphen child 1 child 1. Within this, pass it from. Now the child component. I was calling the child component 2 again. You define. Now what happened? Whatever you are mentioning in the body of the child component, whatever you're mentioning in the body of the child component, this will be printed in the child. Now actually this is the child component, name is child 1. From the parent component, I am invoking the child 1. Now within the child 1, whatever the body we write, that will be printed in the slot. So the entire child component will print, and whatever we write within the body of the child component, that is printed in the slot. That will be printed on the slot. So let me put this extra story. We have child 1. Then we have parent 1. Okay, let me push this. So I'm taking a parent 1. T2. Go to the page. So look at this. Add content to the slot. This data is passed from the parent. Add content to the slot. This data is added from the second parent. So what was that? Child component is getting printed in the slot. The child component is getting printed here. Whatever we have given as a child component, the child component is getting printed. Here I gave a slot. This is a dynamic script. The script, this value of this script should be passed from the parent. Whatever the value that parent is going to pass, the same value will be printed. Whatever the value that the parent is going to pass, same value will be printed. And here we are not referring the slot with any name. We are not referring the slot with any name. This is called unnamed slot. There should be only one unnamed slot in the component. There should be only one unnamed slot in the component. So this is what? Unnamed component. Then we have named components, named slots. So if you have, look at the point. Slot, we have a name, first name. Slot, first name. Now we are giving the names for the slot. When you give the name for the slot, when you are referring, you have to give the attribute slot equal to name. The slot equal to name. Okay. So how do you achieve this? Rather than creating a new example, I'll try to refer to my old example what we have done, and I'll try to modify it because okay. So course HTML, the story I'm giving. I gave a name to the slot. I give the course details. Then go to the institute.html. Here, whatever the data you want to print, take this data. Go to the institute. Slot equal to right. So instead of this, so child component, Here I have to take abc.name. Okay. Now I'm giving this should be printed in the slot. This should be printed in the slot.
Okay. So Satish, should the slot be a parameter to the course info child object or to the key abc.name?
So it has to be here actually. Let me check it out here. It's supposed to be for the component. It should be for the component actually. Mistake here. So I had a slot here. Okay. Now let me push this. Push it here. Push it to the scratch arc. It should be in the within the body. Okay. Let me run it again. So we're getting the course details. Remove the slot from here. Beta, go inside. Run it. This is how we are getting it. So the element which should be printed in the slot, for that element we are supposed to give the name of the slot. So in the child component, whichever you want to print, that we have to give it a slot here. That's fair. So actually I have given on the top, it should be within the element. In the child component, this data should be printed in the slot called first. So in this case, what I am doing, we are passing the script what need to be printed in the parent, okay, in the child from the parent. First one you have seen passing the data from the parent to child. Second one you have seen now the parent is passing the script to the child. Is these two examples are clear for everyone? So both these are possible because I am using API. Any query from your end on these two? Everyone is good, Amma? Everyone is good?
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, Satish, I think the business use case will be like to by using the same child component, different parents can change the way the data is presented to the end user by way of passing out.
Now the top template should be the same. Now look at this. I want to print the data. When I'm printing the data, this structure I don't want to change. This structure I don't want to change. This structure I don't want to change. But this data I want to change here. This data will be changing. So this data I'm pushing from parent. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Any other query from anyone else? Okay. Then we go for next functionality called get functionality. So we can also get the data. We can also set the data. We can get the data, set the data. Right now we require a getter functionality for my example. So let me show you the get functionality. So let me take a quick example. Control Shift P. So I have here get example. Okay. So in the get example, get get HTC phone. So I have created a getter functionality. I created get off ACC name, get off ACC name, get off ACC phone. So let me go to the component, try to use the component here. So we have get example. Where was the component? Right. ACC name. Very basic example. So this is a getter function, and we are using the getter function here just to demonstrate how the getter function is working. The way you write getter method, setter method, the way you write getter method, setter method in the Apex class, the similar one in the Lightning component also we have get getter method, setter methods in the Lightning component dot get attribute, set attribute. Similarly, in the Lightning web components, if you want to use a getter methods, this is how we are going to give get off the property name, then the value. Okay, let us move on to the story. I need this property in the LDS. So go to the component, edit the page. With example. This is how we are getting the value. So we can apply getter functionalities in the Lightning Web Components in this way. Right, this is a basic example. Now I want to go to the LDS services. What is our LDS services? Without interacting with database, without interacting with the server, okay, without interacting with the Apex classes, I want to insert the data, I want to fetch the data, I want to update the data. So create, okay, we got a create functionality, create record, update the record. Okay, we got these functionalities in the Lightning components. The same LDS what we have in the Lightning components, the same type of things I want to implement in the Lightning Web Components. So how do you implement that in the Lightning Web Components? How do you create, how do you work with LDS services in Lightning Web Components? So let us take one by one step. First step I'll go with okay, the first step I'll go with creating a record. So how do you create a record? How do you create a record? Lightning data services, we are going to work. First we'll go with creating a record. We want to create the record using the Lightning data services. Now look at the story. If you want to create the record, we require a wired services. is a service called wired services at the rate of y. We require wired services at the rate of y, like at the rate of API. Then similarly, I require at the rate of wired services. First, let us look at the story. If you are trying to apply the LDS, the components are Lightning Record Form, Lightning Record Edit Form, Lightning Record View Form, Lightning Record Form, Lightning Record Edit Form, Lightning Record View Form. We already know the same properties are there to us in the Lightning components. Record Edit Form, Record View Form. Now, in the same story, we want to understand how to create a record using LDS. If you want to create a record using LDS, we need to understand a functionality called create record. We need to understand a functionality called create record. At the same time, we also want to understand record view form, record edit form, record view form. So we need to know how to create the record, how to create a record, and how to display the record using Lightning Edit Form. So first, with respect to the topics what we learned, we'll try to create some of the example. The same story, instead of going with the complete story, whatever the examples you have done, with the help of those examples, I'll try to create one LDS service first. So let me try to create Lightning Web Component, Lightning. So I have create record example. So go back to the story, look at the create record. Okay. Here I have Lightning code. Lightning input type equal to text, label, account name, then I have on change, right. Similarly, I'll also go with other properties here. I'm going to create Lightning button, label, submit, on click. So here I'm going to make the changes here. Call phone, call industry. So here we have account name, right. With respect to the topics what we are learning, we are trying to create the story. Name, industry, rating. So this is the story what I created. Now let us go to the JS file. So whenever you want to use LDS formatter, we need to import create record from we have when you say import create record from, we require URI. We have a URI services. Look at the story. If you want to use it, we are supposed to import the data, import the record URI. Let me show the story here. I have Lightning UI record API. This is the one which you are supposed to import in case if you are using it. Okay. Then let us create the other functionalities. What are the other functionalities that we have? First, we need to define some properties at the rate of track name or you can define them as a private, because I'm not going to print this data. You can also define them as a private. Then because I'm using track, I'm going to use wire also. Okay, I'll tell where I'm going to use that wire. This is how I'm going to define it. Then move on to the story. Okay, create record. Now we had a functionality called call ACC. Call ACC. This I'm giving this dot ACC equal to event dot target dot. The same story I'm going to define for other two. The same story, call ACC, call phone, then we had call industry, and we have call it. So that whenever the change occurs, we want to take it. Here we need to define this what we have created. So here we need to define list of fields which you want to transfer and the property names. When you want to use the wire property, at the rate of wire, create record functionality. Now when you call the functionality, I want to insert the data. When you want to insert the data, we need to understand how to define wire properties. So let me give you a quick story here. Let me copy paste some of the functionalities here. So the same story, whatever I given, I copy pasted almost a similar functionalities. Look at the story. So we had track name, phone, industry, track rating. One extra thing I have given. So apart from that, let us say what we have done. First, let us look at the basic functionality. Call ACC, call phone, call industry, call rating. This dot rating equal to event dot target dot value. Right, till here it is done. Now the point is, what are the fields you want to display? I don't require this property at this level. Okay, we don't need that property. Okay, not defined in whole. So look at the story. Now, when you click on the button, it is calling show, or we can say call me. When you're clicking on the button, we are calling a functionality called call me. When you call the call me, listen to the story. Here, specify the list of fields in the form of key value pair. Then specify API name of the object and list of fields. There are two variables which I have to define. So first I am defining the list of fields which I want to use. In that LDS service, which fields we are using? Name. What is the value we are giving here? Name is name. Phone. Industry. The name of the field and also associated value. Rating and this dot rating. So what I am passing? It is a name of the field, associated value. Name of the field, associated value. So we are creating fields and their associated values. We are creating the fields and their associated values. Name of the field and the corresponding associated values. Name of the field and the corresponding associated values. Name of the field and the corresponding associated values. Okay. Right. Next, we are calling the next property. What is the next property we are giving here? Record data, API name of the object. It's an API name. If it is a custom object underscore C, we have to mention, and the list of fields which you specified on the top, name and values. This is the creation of fields and the creation of API name. Once it is done, whatever the imported service we have done on the top, create. You have done this imported service, create record. Whatever the imported service we have done here on the top, whatever the imported service we have done here, whatever the imported service you have done, that imported service. Now it's basically a combination of two examples, so that you're finding two. Basically, I'm doing one at this moment. We don't even require this one at this level. Okay. Now, this is the story. Now, what I'm doing here, try to get the story. Basically, it's a combination of two examples. I removed one. Okay. Now, look at the story. Till here, it's done. Now, we are supposed to create the record. When you are supposed to create the record, you need to understand a quick points here. The formation of record, create record, whatever the name of the, here we have given record data, name of the object and the values, name of the object and the values. That one we have to pass as a parameter. Record we have to pass as a parameter. When you pass the record as a parameter, when you invoke it, then it can be a success, it can be a failure. I call it create record. When I call this, it can be a success or it can be a failure. Now the point is, if it is success, what I have to do? If it is failure, what I have to do? Then response. If it is success, do this. If it is failure, if it is error, this is how we are going to, like a try catch. Create record, some input we are giving. We are saying do this operation, create a record with this input. Now when you are invoking, it can be success, it can be failure. Dot then dot catch. dot then dot catch. In dot then we have to give, we will be getting a response. If the response is success, what is the action you want to do? If you go to catch, it's going to be error. Then what you are going to do? This is how we are going to do it. If the template is clear for everyone, is the template is clear for everyone?
Yes, Satish.
Now come back to our story. That's what I give. Create record dot then response. If you are getting into then, I told account record is created successfully, print the ID of the record. If the account record is not printed, okay, it's not successful, go to catch. Then catch dot body dot message. Catch dot body dot message. This is how I have created. Right? So when you call me, it has assigned the values to the fields. It has told the name of the object and a list of fields what we want to insert. Then invoking a create record. The create record was mentioned on the top. 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 Right. Now, insert it. Let us save it. Now, if it is success, I am printing the success message in the console. If it is error message, error, I am printing the message in the. So go back to the story. So where was that? Create record example. Save it. What was the issue in this case? Let me cross check. This extra line we're getting. Right, let me push it. Okay. Take this. Go back to the story. This is how the record creation page came. Then do this. What was that? Might need refresh. So go back to the story. Go to the account. Go to the edit. Wire data, we need to push it. page error, we are getting in the error here. This would give you some details. Input error. Let me take to the component here. Create component.html. Input type text. Here it should be phone. Okay. Let me push it. But even then, it should be error is coming on the type, right? Error is coming on the type. Call me, call name. Go to the call name. It is given as call name. Give as call ACC. That's where the error is. I give call ACC, but here it was call name. JavaScript error. Push the code once again. Now, initially you will be finding some difficulty with the Lightning Web Components because there is no documentations also available for that. So we're just trying to pull some data from the general web components, and I'm trying to merge it with the Lightning. So general standard documentation is also not there. I'm just trying to merge up the code with the web components which are available, generalized web components. I'm trying to merge them with the Lightning to get these structures. As I told you, there's no predefined documents also. Just trying to look at some available resources and trying to merge the web methods. Rating, hot. Submit. Go back to the console. Inspect. Go to the console. We are able to see here record is created here. So the record was successfully created. Go back to the account. We can see the capital record was created. Now the story here is, look at the story. If you have any query on this, let me know. Otherwise, I'll go for extension of this. Look at the story. Look at the code first. Look at the HTML code. Basically, it's a simple Lightning card with 4 input text boxes, where I was entering the name, phone number, industry, and rating. I have a simple Lightning card with the 4 input text where I'm entering name, phone, industry, rating. So what was my story? Here, I am not taking standard edit form. I am not taking a standard edit form. I am not taking a standard edit form. I was trying to take my own input format and trying to insert the data into database without calling the Apex classes. So here, whenever the name changes, because of the first class we have done, when the value changes, when the input text box changes, assign, read the value, assign to a variable. This one we have done in the first classes. Whenever the value in the input text box is modified, get the value, assign to one of the property. Like that, when name changes, assign to name. When phone number changes, assign to phone number. When the industry changes, assign to industry. When the rating changes, assign to rating. That's what we have done. The next story is, when you click on the save button. When you click on the save button, we want to assign all the fields and the corresponding values. We have to set what is the name of the field, what is the name API name of the field, and the value that should be assigned. Just like this is just like this structure. Just like this structure. It is not okay. Just like assigning the values of a field. We're just assigning the values of a field. So we have said. But these fields belongs to which table? We assign the values of a field, but the field belongs to which table? That's what we are setting. API name equal to account. API name equal to account. And the fields. So in this object, these are the field. So name equal to Wipro, phone equal to 1234. So field value, that belongs to this particular table. That's what we have said. Now we are supposed to call create record. How are you getting the create record? In the top we have given import create record from Lightning UI record API. Then here, when you say create record, whatever the record instance I have created, that I'm passing here. Then there's a possibility of success, there's a possibility of error. If it is success, what should I do? If it is error, what should I do? That's what I have given here. Is that was clear for everyone? Is that was clear for everyone?
Satish,
Yeah,
Quick
go ahead.
question, Satish.
Go ahead, Amma.
Okay, line number 23. So, I mean, since we are using the key value pair in multiple places, so are these case sensitive, or it can be small case, name NA, capital M?
Forget about Salesforce. Anywhere you write in the Lightning, it's a case sensitive, right?
Okay, thank you.
Anywhere
Satish,
JavaScript is a case sensitive. It is a scripting only, no? What we are doing is
Satish,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Thank
where did you call controller?
So this is the reason we should not call the control in the LDS, right? Lightning Data Services means what? Without invoking the Apex class, we are trying to interact with the database.
Okay, okay.
For that only we have invited this top statement.
In SFDX, we any coding we need to we didn't write any Apex class, right?
We didn't write. See, LDS means we should not write any class. Without writing the class only, we have to perform the LDS. Purpose of the LDS is what? Without invoking any Apex class, we want to insert the data or update the data. That's the purpose of data services, right? So to perform that, we are calling this create record. The same create record in the Lightning we have done. If you remember, component.create record, save result. In the Lightning Lightning web component, Lightning components, we have done create record, save. Okay, create record, save, update record. We have that functionalities, right? In the LDS.
Yes.
The same thing I have called here.
Okay.
Same thing I called here. But here the response is also coming in the same way. Okay. There we are going to get save result, result, callback action. Here also save result. This is the callback action. So with respect to this syntax, yeah.
Okay, Satish, we have not write that hash record that we write into the Lightning hash record.
Come again, Amma.
Hash record something we are writing right into the Lightning.
That is the interface. See, here we don't have components, no? It's only HTML, right? Lightning web component is only HTML, right?
Okay.
So it is template is HTML template, right? Here we don't have that interfaces and all this stuff here. The interfaces and everything is coming to you here.
Okay, got it. Okay, so here also we don't need to write, is it?
No, not required.
In better. Okay.
As per, see, it is not exactly Lightning component. It resembles the Lightning components, but not exactly. It is a web standards. Now that's how. See, this structure I found. These structures I found. Whatever the structures I wrote here, these structures except this create record, rest of the structure I found from the web methods, not from the Salesforce Lightning. Okay, in the web methods, generalized Java. Okay, web development web methods are there. Web components. From there, I understood these structures and I merged it into Lightning components.
Okay, so in XML file, what we have written, like it is the interface or what into the XML file?
It tell you that the component is available for usage and where it is available.
Okay, so that Lightning record.
Now let me make it very
like what it is.
Let me make it simple. Now, if you want to deactivate a trigger, what will you do?
Yes, simply we just remove it, means that.
It will not be done like that. We need to go to the metadata. We need to go to metadata file of the trigger. There we need to give false. Active equal to false. We have to put it and again redeploy to production. That's how we deactivate the triggers. You want to deactivate a class. If you want to deactivate an Apex class, again go to metadata.xml file. Then make active false and deploy it. So here also this is the metadata file of this component. Okay. It is active or not. Okay, which version it is using and which locations we can use it. Now every VF page you create, every Apex class you create, every trigger you create, you get a metadata file. Okay, because you are creating from the developer console, you are not finding it. You read from the SFDX or Eclipse, you find that metadata file.
Okay, okay, Satish. Yeah, now I got it.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Satish?
Yes.
Satish, I have a small doubt. Just I have a button. When I call that button, its component is displaying, and server side controller is working. But I don't want to display that component. Is it possible?
See, is true is there, ma. If
That means,
we have a component, sir. If true,
yeah.
okay, rendered when it's true, rendered when it's false. We have the components. We have that attributes.
Okay.
Like for each, like that. If true, if false, we have.
Okay. Okay. By doing like that, we don't want to display like of our requirement. We can do that one.
You're finding here, right? If false, if true.
Okay.
So in the lightning components, you got is true, right?
Okay.
If, okay, if attribute is true,
Yeah.
like that. Here we have template if true, if false.
Okay.
Right. Using that we can try it. Right. Any other queries? Right.
Satish,
Yeah. Go ahead.
like in Lightning Web Component, UI level we don't do anything difference, right? Means like whenever we
There is, yeah.
run
There is
query.
no difference that end user finds in terms of Lightning Web Component or Lightning components. Only in terms of development there is a
Okay.
difference here.
Okay, thank you.
See, right now this is the standard. The down the line, what happens? We'll be able to write the scripting and Apex code also from this JavaScript. That will be the extension of this coming days. The coming days, everything will be running from even the Apex code will be defined within the script codes here. So as per my okay, I read a couple of documents regarding the web methods, web components. So the ultimate goal of this web components down the line with respect to any technology, the server side control code also they want to include within the script where the script what we're writing here. So that will be the end goal of this web components. So right now we are only doing the partial parts of the story. If everything is implemented properly, then the scripting, like whatever the Apex codes are there, that also we can perform from here. Like writing a SQL queries, like a DMLs, that also should be achieved from the scripting itself. Like in the Visual Force already we achieved it, right? We have got Ajax toolkit where we can write a SQL queries in the JavaScript, where we can write a DML operation in the JavaScript, where we can send a SMS emails in the JavaScript, your outbound emails, inbound email handling. All this is available in the all this we think we can do it from the JavaScript in the Visual Force using the Ajax toolkit. Even the web components down the line, the same story will come up. Right. Okay. So, but only thing is we had a very limited resource for understanding this web components. That's only the trouble we had regarding the Lightning Web components. We were finding very limited resource for trying to understand what exactly which properties are available, what components are available. We're able to track all these things not from the Salesforce documentation. I was able to track all these things from the generalized web component documentation. As per their documentation, I was looking at the for each templates, if all this stuff. Okay, so it is a good for us if you can go through the generalized web components initially until we get the proper documentation from the Salesforce side, or because it's very new, we are finding very limited number of resources to verify what functionalities are there in the Lightning Web components. Right. Okay.
Satish?
Yeah.
Satish?
Yeah.
One doubt, Satish.
Go ahead.
I'm using one action button in the lead level.
Hmm.
I don't want to component page. I want to only action class. How it is possible?
You don't want component?
Page component page. When I click on the action button, I want to only run a Apex class background.
But not component.
So basically, what you want to say is, generally when you click on the button, a component is going to open. Then
Yeah. I don't want to that component page.
Okay. Directly
I want to run.
put everything in the
Apex.
put everything in the init method and give the page reference. Put everything put it everything in the Euro handler. Okay, and give a redirection from the Euro handler init method.
Empty component will be
Like when you open, when
I
you,
use
Hmm.
yeah what you suggest. I implemented auto handler and page reference,
Hmm.
but that component page only empty page opened. It happened
See,
every time.
when you navigate, it will navigate to the consent record. No, empty page should not come.
Okay.
See, when I give the page reference of a particular record, it was supposed to open that particular page.
Okay.
So obviously, it should not be an empty.
But my requirement is like that. Then how we can do to do that task?
That's what I have given the solution, boss. In the URI handler, you call the init method action. When you go to init action, from there, try to invoke the page to which you want to go. See,
Okay.
you're clicking a button. Okay, you're clicking a
Okay.
button means you're clicking from a particular page only, no?
Yeah.
Or a particular.
Actually, we didn't want to display component, but whenever click on an action button, I need to do some work, some class. I need to work some action.
See, boss. You're clicking some button. The button is on some page only, no?
Yes.
The button is on some page only, no?
No, that page is not. That page is in detailed page, detailed button.
It be anywhere. It's a page only, no, boss.
Conversion button is a button. We are used custom convert button.
See, when you're clicking a button, the button should be on page only, no?
Okay.
Now, where the button is the button is in the air? No, right? It is on the page only, no? Somewhere it may be a detail page or record page or home page or component page. Somewhere something you're displaying on which the button is there. Am I right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Satish.
Right. Now it has a URL for the page, right? The page which you, okay. Now refer to that URL page again.
Okay.
Then after the action is performed, again the same page will be reloaded.
Okay.
Now give reloading of the reload the component. So it's on some page, right? Revert back to the same page. See, Baba, when you click on a button, generalize the Apex class method you are taking. If you give void call me, what will happen? It goes to the same page, right?
Yes.
If you give page reference, call me. Now, what do you mean by the page reference? You are giving some URL, right?
Yes.
Whichever the URL we are giving, the page will, the action will go to the particular page of completion of the action, right?
Yes.
Okay. The same thing I am asking you to do there in the handler, in the action. Give a reference to some URL of the page to which you want to navigate. You want to navigate to the same page, give the same URL.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So, right, Amma. So let's.
Satish,
Yes, Amma.
yeah, my question is that how to get the documentation of this Lightning Web component? Where we get those
We are not getting it.
documentation?
Boss.
Okay.
I'm finding. I myself is finding very hard to find out the consent documents. I was working from a couple of days on the same. Okay, but I was referring to a couple of web components from generalized scripting formats. I'm looking at this, trying to merge with the Salesforce. Okay.
Okay.
And some standard structures are coming here. This way you're finding a developer guide. This is the basic information you're finding here. This I'm trying to use along with my web methods. Both combination I'm trying to take and make examples of the classes. Okay, we are in the
Web method of which? Satish, which web methods?
general web methods, web components or not web methods. General. The point is we are in the very early stage of the Lightning Web components. Okay, so just after 3 or 4 months we find a lot of resources available. Because we are in the very new to this. We are in the very early stage of the Lightning Web components. Okay. Right, boss. Okay.
Okay, understood.